Hello guys, welcome you all for this session on systems thinking. I'll be the observer for today's discussion. Our topic is system thinking habits, and the objective is to understand how we can develop one of these habits and apply it in our academic and the upcoming professional context. I'll be listening to everybody's presentation, noting it down, and finally giving a summary at the end. Yes, and the few tips are make sure you finish within 3 to 5 minutes. A 3 minute mark, I will let you know that you have finished 3 minutes, and by 5 minutes, please try to wrap it up. And yeah, feel free to ask any questions or doubts before starting. Do you have any questions, guys? No? Okay, then we are good to go. We'll go in the order as mentioned in the sheet. So, first, we will start the accounts. I have his PPT. 1 second.
Yeah, thank you, Arvind. The screen is visible. So, hi guys, I'm Ikansh, and I'm going to be talking about thinking in time horizons. So, this is something that the habit I've picked is like consider short-term, long-term, and unintended consequences of actions. The principle behind it is simple. Every decision produces effects on more than one time scale, and the ones that arrive later are usually the ones nobody weighed. So I want to show you one decision, three horizons, and one loop. Here's the actual decision. Yeah. So here's the actual decision. Registration for the September. Could you please go to the next? Yeah, my bad. Here's the actual. Yeah, this slide only. This slide. Registration for the September term opens in a few weeks, and I have to choose between two courses or three. My instinct is to take three more courses, faster degree, and that instinct isn't stupid. It's just short-sighted. It evaluates weeks 1 to 4 and just stops there. It's judging a decision on only horizon that's visible when I'm making it. Can you go to the next? Yeah. So here's what if I actually trace it out. Short term, weeks 1 to 4, it feels productive. There's visible progress. I get validation for it. All real, all genuinely good. Long term, across the term, my attention is split three ways. Prep gets shallow into the prerequisite courses, and those are the ones later courses are built on. So the cost is in this term's grade. It's weaker fundamentals I carry forward. Then the unintended band, the next two terms. If I repeat or drop a course, I lose fees and eligibility. There's no time left for project work or internship prep. And even the sleep debt spills into the courses I did keep. So overloading actively damages the subjects I was protecting. But this is the part that matters. Falling behind creates pressure to overload again to catch up. It is a reinforcing loop. The consequence feeds the decision and that caused it. That's why this systems thinking and not just a pros and cons list. So for practices, before any academic commitment, a three horizon note, 2 weeks, 1 term, 1 year, 5 minutes capped. In group projects, I ask, and then what? Twice, not once, because one level deep is where everyone stops. A 24-hour hold on anything I commit to under deadline pressure, and a decision log I review at term end. All four are deliberately cheap. The caps are what makes them survive a busy week. Next slide, please. Three things will make this fail. It feels like overhead, countered by the 5-minute cap. Long-term effects are invisible at the moment of deciding. That's what the log is for. It makes them visible in hindsight and trains the next call. And peer pressure. Everyone takes three. My counter is to ask a senior who actually did it what the term looked like in week 9, because the cost of a decision is rarely paid in the week you make it. Thank you so much.
Nice, Akansh. It was a really nice explanation about system thinking in terms of time perspective, with a really good example of how things will work out. Because if you make a short-sighted decision right now, it is going to surely affect the future outcome of the course which you're doing. And yeah, it was a really, really good explanation. And next we have Shubh. Shubh, can you go ahead?
Yeah, sure, Arvind. Thank you. Is the slide visible?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Shubh here, and today I will be presenting the system thinking habit, surface and test assumption. I chose this habit because many misunderstandings happen when we assume something without checking the facts. I believe developing this habit will help me become a better student and a teammate. So, next question which comes to our mind is, what does this habit mean? This habit means we should not make decisions based on only assumption. Instead, we should question our assumption and verify them before reaching a conclusion. By doing this, we can prevent misunderstandings, improve our decision making, think more critically, and work better with others. As the quote says, don't assume, verify before you conclude. Second question which will be coming to your mind is, where will I apply it? I will apply this habit during IT Madras BS group assignments. Sometimes a teammate may reply late or seem inactive in the WhatsApp group, as today we had. Instead of assuming they are not contributing, I will first ask them if they need help or understand their situation. They may have exam, office work, or personal commitments. Testing assumptions will help me avoid unnecessary conflicts and improve teamwork. Which brings us to system thinking design. Diagram shows the difference between assuming and verifying. Without this habit, a delayed reply leads to assumption, frustration, and poor teamwork. With this habit, I may question my assumption, ask for clarity, understand the actual reason, and communicate better. This small change leads to stronger teamwork and better collaboration, which brings us to the expected outcome. By practicing this habit, I expect improve my communication and teamwork. It will also help me think more critically, make fair decisions, develop leadership skills, and build better professional relationships. They are important skills for both academia and my future career. So, how will I build this habit? To build this habit, I will ask myself one simple question. Do I know this for a fact, or am I assuming it? I will ask questions before judging, verify information, listen carefully to others, and reflect after every group activity. Which brings us to challenges and solution. One challenge is that we often jump to conclusions, especially during deadlines. To overcome this, I will pause before reacting, verify facts instead of guessing, and stay open to different explanations. This will help me make better decisions and avoid unnecessary misunderstandings. Which brings us to the last slide, which is conclusion. To conclude, surface and test assumption is a simple but powerful system thinking habit. By replacing assumptions with facts, I can improve communication, teamwork, and decision making. So, thank you all.
So yeah, thank you, Shivam. I mean, it was a really good presentation about how assumptions can really cloud your understanding about the entire team or an entire organization or on how you work, right? It leads us in the further down the line, it leads us to having bias and improper decision making and all those things. So yes, it was really good. And next we have Smriti. Can you
Yeah.
start?
Yes. Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. I am Smriti, and I'll be talking about my system habit. uh, yeah, change perspectives to increase understanding. So this is actually quite similar to our previous one, talking about assumption and bias. So I selected this because understanding different viewpoints can genuinely improve teamwork and decision making. We have always heard the quote, put yourself in someone else's shoe and then you will understand what they are going through. So that's what matters. Perspectives matter in very much all aspects of life. So, yeah, this habit reminds us that people experience the same situation but in different ways because of their background or the responsibilities they have, the goals they have. So, instead of judging quickly, we should first try to understand why someone might have acted in a certain way. And doing this helps us communicate better, make fairer decisions, and also work more effectively with others. So I also plan to apply this in group projects. For instance, this semester we have SPG group project. Now, since our degree is online, most of our teammates are from different colleges, cities, working professionals, and some are also full-time students. So when there are group assignments, if someone submits their work late, misses a meeting, or replies late in the WhatsApp text, my first reaction would be to think that they are not being serious about the project. But applying this habit helps me understand that there can be different possibilities. They might have office work, personal responsibilities, or even basic things like an internet issues. So understanding these help me that I should communicate more positively with them before coming into judgments. Now, yes, this diagram basically shows the difference. Without the habit of understanding perspectives, a delayed reply leads to assumptions and then anger, bad teamwork. But with the habit, I get to understand them, communicate better, and also build a trust. So, a small change can actually help with the outcome. Now, by practicing this, I hope to become a better communicator and a stronger team member and also make fairer decisions. So, I believe this would also help me in my master's and my future career in tech or any field for that person. Now, how I will build this habit? The first thing would be to stop and ask what is actually going through instead of just seeing that they are not responding. So I'll carefully listen to what they are saying, get clarification for my assumptions, my questions, and then reflect. So these are small actions, but they would help me develop the habit over time. And challenges, of course, sometimes in the hang of time I just react quickly, so I need to take the time to uh, calm myself down, especially even if there are deadlines approaching, and I need to get a correct judgment before jumping into solutions or assumptions. So, to conclude, changing perspectives is quite a small habit, but it can definitely improve communication, teamwork, and problem solving in different environments. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Smriti. I guess, changing the perspective, it's not as easy as it sounds to be. But I mean, slowly, as and when you take it up, and slowly when you start looking in from other person's shoes, then you'll be able to understand the dynamics of how each person acts or reacts in that situation. And I mean, because for everybody, their own action is completely justifiable in every case. So yes, that would seriously help to build the team relation, and in the long term, how the entire thinking. This might also help in a company setting where you will be working on teams towards a common goal. So this makes sure that you don't derail towards other stuff, and you just focus on the common goal itself. Thank you so much. And next we have Saharsh.
Hi, Arvind. I'm Saharsh, and just a second, let me talk about my topic. I'm sharing my screen. Is it visible?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So every commitment plays out more than just on one time scale. Have you ever been in that situation in which you just said yes without thinking about its consequences, what it will mean to you, say a week, a month, or a quarter later? That is something that I want to talk about. Is the three horizon yes, a dynamic way to look at situations and decide whether to say yes or not. So basically, there are a lot of things that we come up during our lives in which we feel like if I am saying no to this, I'm gonna say a no to a great opportunity and those kind of things. And same thing used to happen with me as well. Due to this exact thing, I have said yes to a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. My life has been changed through because of them as well. I got a I got into rooms that I had no work to do, and I couldn't have gone if I have not said that yes. But there are a lot of things that I've went through because of that as well. Sleepless nights, missing on assignments, and missing on really crucial academic activities was some of them as well. So there are some recurring asks, the decisions that I'm facing most of the weeks. In this case, my internal judgment is to say yes to all, but more momentum means more optionality. But the instinct always doesn't pays the price of your commitments. You do. So there are three horizons that I've come up with through which you can weigh and weigh the real cost and uh, modify your decision. So basically, next quarter is the real cost. It lends at the week 3, the month, the quarter at which things are already hard from the academic point of view, from the personal point of view, and these extra commitments will also lend at that point of time, and you didn't had account for that. For that, there are 4 habits that you should follow through which you can prevent these things from happening. So the first is the gut check. You have to first give yourself some time to analyze the things, analyze your current commitments before you commit to anything new. The and then what thing. One second. The and then what test. Once you have analyzed that and you are good to go with the decision, you have to then check it throughout your whole plan, and if there is any uh, if there is any safe space or safe slot you have in the time being, basically a buffer time that you have. If not, you have to reconsider the decision. After that, you should do a 24 hour old in which there should be no yes under those 24 hours, no matter how urgent it feels. 4, there should be a weekly no log, the things that you said no this week. If there is empty, you definitely said some things that you're gonna regret later. If it is filled with things, analyze them, and which yes didn't feel right, you have to take them as no in the future as well. 3 pushbacks you have to do, in which the 5 minute beats up. These things you have to consider before saying yes to anything. If you have considered these things, if you're just feeling, if you are feeling overheard, if you are feeling overlooked, or if something, if you're not feeling valuable enough, or if it seems that you are saying yes to everything, you are at the fault at that point. Everyone else says yes to everything. Ask someone 2 years ahead what their calendar looks like at the month 8th or 9th. Then you will get to know where their priorities lies. A yes really sends its bill the week you say it. With that, I would like to continue to Palak.
Okay. So thank you, Sash. It was a really good presentation. I believe to summarize it, I think instead of doing greedy, we have to do a DP to and then say yes to anything. I guess that's what you're trying to say. In simple terms, don't greedily go on saying yes, 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 and then regret later. So do a DP, think about the long horizon, and then say yes. And yes, it's a really good thing because I believe most of us would also have to face the same problem, curiously saying yes to something and then missing out on so many other things. And yeah, it was really good. And next, Palak.
Yeah, thank you, Arvind. Hi, this is Palak Pandey. And give me a second, I'm just presenting myself.
So, hi everyone, this is Palak Pandey, and for this assignment, I have selected the system thinking habit that is understand the consequences of actions. Okay, so I choose this habit because in colleges, especially during the group projects, we often focus on completing a task quickly. But I want to develop the habit of thinking beyond the immediate result and considering what may happen later. Okay, so yeah. So basically, the main idea behind the habit is simple. Like before making it decision, we should firstly think what happens later. Okay. So firstly, what are the things we should think is first thing is what happens immediately. Okay. And then second things we can think of it is what happened next. And third, what expected or unintended consequences might occur. So the course emphasis looking at short term, long term, and unintended consequences uh, may occur, but the but how where I will apply it and how we can see this things in a real type situations. So basically, I will apply this habit in upcoming college projects, if any. So, for example, when dividing the work, the quickest option may be to immediately just assign tasks to everyone. That helps us to faster, like they just assign the task to everyone, and it may also create the poor coordination later. So instead of only thinking about speed, I will encourage some initial planning and regular check-ins. Okay, so this is how my system thinking diagram is looking like. The diagram shows how one decision can lead to a different results. So a quick fast decision on help can help work fast, but which is a positive immediate result. But without enough planning, it can also create problems such as integration error later. Okay, so the important lesson for me is that before taking actions, I should look beyond the first result and think about how the effects may develop over time. And after that, I just write here like how we can just practice this habit. So to practice this habit consistently, I will follow three things. What the three things is: pause, look ahead, and reflect. Okay, so before an important decision, I will pause and ask, what is the immediate result? What could happen later? And after completing the task, I will reflect on what actually happened. So this will help me learn and improve my future decisions. So let's see what are the challenges and responses are there. So there can be some challenges. For example, sometimes there is a time pressure, so I may not have much time to analyze anything in that case. So I will use a quick three question check. Okay, what the three question check is: uh, another challenge is that I cannot predict every possible outcome, so I will focus on the most likely and important consequences. Okay, and finally, different team members may have different views, so I will see this as useful because different perspectives can help me notice things I may just miss. Okay, so what is my commitment is basically, or we can say what I want to conclude is, so, to conclude, my goal is to develop the habit of thinking beyond the immediate result, consider what may happen, and learn from what actually happens. So, basically, my single commitment is before I act, I will think what happens next. Thank you.
Good, good, good. Look, it was a really great presentation. And you're able to, highlight the fact that whatever things you're doing right now will have downstream effects. And if you're not careful about what unintended consequence you're trying to make, then you'll seriously face problems in the future. I guess that really ties up to the system thinking of understanding in a larger picture. Even an organization saying your actions can have some unintended consequence on some, let's say, some other Y project, which have like a part of it depends on you, because you change something, then they have to go change an entire product or something. It is an unintended consequence, as you highlighted. It was really good. Next, I would like Priyanshu, you're okay. So Priyanshu, you'll be
Yes.
next. Please give your opinions on this. You can
So,
start now.
hi everyone. Hi everyone. I'm Priyanshu Yadav. The habit I picked is called spotting people loops. noticing when cause and effect go in circle, not just a straight line. Normally, we think cause we and that's it, but in real life, we often loops back and cause again. Look at row of my diagram. I procrastinate that causes stress. Stress causes poor work, and poor work causes guilt. And guilt makes the procrastination again. It's a circle. This is called a enforcing loop. It keeps repeating and getting worse if it does, doesn't notice. So I will apply this in my college assignments starting right now and in exam season. Every time I do the same thing, delay the work, feel stressed near the deadline, submit big work, feel guilty when delay the next assignment too. Before I thought each late submission was just a bad luck or bad week. Now I see it's the same loop repeating. So uh, this time instead of believing myself of after it happens, I want to catch the loop while it's happening. So the good part is I don't have to fix everything at once. I just need to break the loop at one point. That's the bottom row of my diagram and a balancing loop. If I start with small step, I get an early with that when build confidence. Confidence makes me actual follow through same situation, but I enter it from different point and flip the whole direction. So three simple actions I will take first. Every week I will spend 10 minutes asking myself, did that loop happen again this week? Second, before starting my assignment, I will break it into one small first step so I start the good loop early. Third, I will keep a short notebook, just writing down when the loop starts and where it repeats. The most challenging and hard part is that loops are hard to see while they are happening. You usually only notice them later. My week checks it help me with that. The other challenge is that old habits are automatic, so this need a regular practice, not just one good week. So that's my habit. See the loop, then choose where to break in, change it. Thank you. Hap- Happy to take questions.
So yeah, Priyansh, it was really nice. Talking about how about the reinforcement loop and how it damages your things. And yeah, next Suraj,
Yes, hi Arvind.
can you start?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes. First, I am Suresh Kumar. Sorry for due to time constraint, I am not able to create PPT, but I am ready to explain everything. So, the system thinking habit I have selected is looking beyond the immediate problem. I choose this habit because I usually tend to focus on the problem that I can see immediately and try to solve it. But the system thinking tells us look at different factor connected to problem before deciding on solution. I want to apply this mainly in my college and academic group work. Why this habit? The basic principle behind this habit is that a problem usually not isolated. There can be multiple factors connected to it and changing one part can also affect other part of the system. So instead of asking only what is the problem and how do I fix it, I also want to start asking what other things are contributing to this problem. I think this can help me avoid quick decision based on what is visible. For example, suppose I am working with group or college assignment and the assignment is getting delayed. My first reaction might to be think one particular member is not doing their work properly. But if I use this habit, I will not immediately blame that person. I would first look at different factors involved. For example, maybe the tasks were not divided clearly. Maybe some has too much work overload. Maybe one person work depend on other person work. There could be communication problem or difficulty managing the deadlines. So instead of solving the visible problem, I would try to solve how all these factors are connected. I can how how will you make this habit to actually develop the habit? I want to follow few simple steps. First, I will pause before immediately suggesting a solution. Second, I will quickly identify the main people, task and constraint involved. Third, I will try to ask at least one other person for their perspective because I may be looking at the situation only from my side. And finally, after completing the task, I will think about why I missed and what worked. And challenging the biggest challenge I see the time pressure when the deadline is very close. It is tempting that just to fix the first problem we see. So I would use a short two thread system check before making important decision. Overall, my goal is not to use the habit only for this assignment. I want to make it regular part of how I approach the problem in my academic works. Thank you. This is from my side.
Thanks, Suraj. It was really good. I guess everyone, more or less talked about the perspectives and the consequences of your decisions and the time framing of, how each action can consume your time down the line. So yes, I guess everything, I mean, all these things will give you a perfect big vision, the big system picture, things will operate. And do you have any questions to each other, like based on the presentations, or are we done? Okay, guys, it was really good. I hope you also, were able to understand a few other things outside your presentation as well. So thank you so much. And yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.